morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and wishing you all a very happy Dussehra. Let us begin with the day's headlines. Prime Minister to lay foundation stone of Andhra Pradesh's capital Amravati today. Telangana Chief Minister also invited for mega event that is likely to be attended by 5 lakh people. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to meet US President Barack Obama at White House, expected to hold talks on wide range of topics, including Kashmir issue. 3 people arrested as the CBI probe is ordered into atrocities against a Dalit family in Haryana. Protesters block the Ballabgarh Faridabad road demanding justice. Must-win ODI match for India against South Africa today in Chennai. India trailing series 1-2 against Proteas. And Vijayadashmi being celebrated across the country. Preparations begin for the burning of the Ravan and his brothers. Our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of Andhra Pradesh's capital Amravati at a village in Guntur district today. It will be a mega event for which the state government has made elaborate arrangements. Now, about 4 to 5 lakh people are expected to attend the function to be held on the banks of River Krishna. The Prime Minister would spend about 90 minutes at the event, during which he will perform the Shilanyas for the capital city, about 40 kilometers from Vijayawada, the commercial capital of Andhra Pradesh. Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu has personally invited the Prime Minister, several Union Ministers, Governor ESL Narasimhan and Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, among others. Ministers and delegations from Singapore and Japan are also expected to attend the event. Singapore government officials have prepared the master plan for the 3-layered capital, seat capital, capital city and capital region. Now, more than 8,000 police personnel have been deployed as part of security arrangements for the grand event.
It is a new state. So many challenges are there. And at the end of the day, Government of India has to give helping hand for development of Andhra Pradesh. There are neighboring states. They are having very good cities. And their income is very, compared to Andhra Pradesh, is very high. What I am requesting Government of India and also Honorable Prime Minister to give a helping hand till we reach at par with other states.
And in other news, amid rising prices, several thousand tons of pulses have been recovered from hoarders across the country. And the prices of pulses have been ruling as high as 210 rupees per kg in the retail market. An inter-ministerial group led by Finance Minister assessed the situation. Government said that 5,000 metric tons of imported pulses have already arrived and are being distributed. The crackdown on hoarders in several states has also resulted in confiscation of around 36,000 metric tons of pulses. Now, citing hoarding as one of the prominent reasons behind the soaring prices of pulses, Arun Jaitley urged the states to take strong action against the hoarders.
ये बहुत खेद का विषय है कि इस होर्डिंग को रोकना जो राज्यों की जिम्मेवारी थी उस पे कार्रवाई नहीं हुई और विश्व के बाजार में भी जो कमी थी, भारत में तो दालें कम उगती हैं, उसका उत्पादन कम है, प्रयोग ज़्यादा होता है, इस्तेमाल ज़्यादा होता है, इसलिए मलावी से, मोज़ाम्बिक से, म्यांमार से हम लोग मंगवाते हैं, वहाँ भी इस बार पैदावार कम है और इसका नाजायज़ लाभ जमाखोरों ने इस्तेमाल किया है और केंद्र के दबाव के बाद जो ये छापे पड़े हैं इसमें बड़ी मात्रा निकली है.
Mahangai, the major issue which they were fighting against the Congress governments, is 10 times serious today, and the government is not taking any action. Neither the Kejriwal government nor the central government.
Dal is now equal to the ISRO rockets of India. It is touching outer space. It is outdoing every other vegetable and material. It has therefore become the king vegetable in terms of prices. We are having some remarkable excuses by the government, never before heard of or unheard of excuses. For example, why didn't Bihar grow more dal? Why didn't Bihar utilize the fund to subsidize dal? I think this is a joke because dal across the world, across the country in several BJP ruled states is hyper expensive. It is touching the sky. It is not a Bihar-centric problem, though Mr. Prime Minister appears to look at everything with political lenses and Bihar lenses. So desperate is the party president, Mr. Shah, and the Prime Minister about Bihar that they are seeing dal also through Bihar-centric lenses. This is most unfortunate.
Prices are shooting. Vegetarians are being targeted now. First it was non-vegetarians, now non-vegetarians. Who can live in a country where prices of pulses, essential commodities are shooting beyond the control of common man? What is happening in this country is unknown. 16 months of horror have been unleashed on this country.
50 करोड़ की दाल जब्त करके कुछ होगा नहीं. कार्रवाई तो ठीक है, उससे भी कठोर कदम उठाने चाहिए, क्योंकि अब दशहरा आया है, दिवाली आएगी, लोगों के घर में त्योहार के लिए चूल्हा जलना मुश्किल हो गया है. मीठा तो छोड़िए, 10 दिन का खाना और दाल रोटी भी बहुत मुश्किल से मिलने लगी है, तो सरकार को और कठोर कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे.
And now let's get you some news from poll-bound Bihar. Well, the rising pulse prices have also become a poll issue in Bihar as leaders try to pin the blame on their rivals. Now facing flack for their absence from Delhi during the ongoing dal price crisis, now Central Ministers Ramvilas Paswan and Radha Mohan Singh chose to take the battle to the enemy camp from Bihar.
With the finger on the pulse of voters, rival alliances in election-bound Bihar on Tuesday served each other liberal portions of blame for the rapidly vanishing pulses from the platter of the common man due to its soaring prices. The Food Minister Ramvilas Paswan and the Minister of Agriculture Radha Mohan Singh chose to bat out of Bihar, where they have been for the last 2 months campaigning for the assembly elections. Addressing a joint press conference at the BJP office in Patna, the ministers, who are also lawmakers from Bihar, targeted political rival and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar over the rise of dal prices.
जब हुआ कि आयात किया जाए तो राज्यों को लिखा गया कि आपको कितना चाहिए, आप इसका विवरण दीजिए, तो उसको भी, उस पत्र को भी इन्होंने रिस्पॉन्स नहीं किया. कीमतें जो बिहार में बढ़ी है उसके लिए यदि कोई जिम्मेवार है तो नीतीश कुमार है.
आप स्टॉक लिमिट तय कीजिए. एसेंशियल कमोडिटी के एक्ट के तहत आपको कार्रवाई करने का अधिकार है, उसका उपयोग कीजिए. जो प्रिवेंशन ऑफ ब्लैक मार्केटिंग एक्ट है उसके अंतर्गत आप कार्रवाई कीजिए. एक भी कार्रवाई इन्होंने नहीं किया, उस दिशा में कोई कदम भी नहीं बढ़ाया.
As he came under attack, Nitish Kumar sought to turn the tables on the centre for the skyrocketing pulse prices, this time hitting out at Modi over his Achhe Din comment and saying people wanted their Purane Din back.
लोगों के थाली से दाल गायब हुआ और लोगों के चित्त से भी ये बुरी तरह उतर गए हैं, इसलिए इनका कोई सगुफा काम करने वाला नहीं. जाए काम करे, काम करना चाहिए. इनको चिंता न सूखे की है, न दाल के महंगाई की है या अन्य महंगाई की है. लोग तो अब कहने लगे हैं कि मोदी जी अच्छे दिन अपने पास रखिए, पुराने दिन ही लौटा दीजिए.
Other leaders in the Grand Alliance were also quick to react.
दाल का पलड़ी में सब चीज न हो गया, दाल के साथ साथ प्याज, लहसुन, मसाला. बाजार में देखते हो कोई परचेजर है, कैपेसिटी नहीं है.
भारत के वित्त मंत्री जी बयान दे रहे हैं कि पोर्ट्स पर दाल पड़ी हुई है, जबकि पोर्ट्स में दाल अगर है तो उसकी आप जानकारी लीजिए. पोर्ट एसोसिएशन में जो लोग काम करते हैं उन्होंने मना कर दिया कि साहब यहां पे कोई दाल है ही नहीं. इस कदर अगर वित्त मंत्री गुमराह करेंगे इस देश के लोगों को तो कैसे काम चलेगा. पूरे तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मोदी सरकार असफल हुई है.
दाल के दाम सिर्फ बिहार में नहीं, दिल्ली से लेकर गुजरात तक आसमान छू रहे हैं. आज की तारीख में बिहार में दाल का दाम और गुजरात में दाल का दाम बराबर है. अगर नीतीश कुमार दोषी हैं तो आनंदी बहन दोष मुक्त कैसे हैं.
While a war of words broke out in Bihar, over 5,800 tons of pulses have been seized in 5 states during raids conducted on hoarders in the last few months. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
News from Haryana now, where a CBI probe has been ordered into the killing of 2 Dalit children in Ballabgarh. Now, the government has also formed a special investigation team to probe the incident. Meanwhile, protesters blocked the Balabgarh-Faridabad road, demanding action against the culprits. Now, 11 people have been booked, but only 3 arrests have been made in the case so far.
Protests rocked Faridabad on Wednesday over the killing of 2 Dalit children on Tuesday. People blocked the Delhi-Agra highway with the bodies of the children in their arms. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi was among the first of the politicians to meet the family on Wednesday. He slammed the BJP government led by Manohar Lal Khattar for failing to protect minorities. Along with the victim's family, he demanded a CBI probe into the incident.
This is an attitude shared by the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of this state and the entire BJP and the RSS. The attitude is that if somebody is weak, he can be crushed. That is the attitude. This is what you are seeing is the result of this attitude.
किसी ने खिड़की से मेरे बच्चों के ऊपर और हमारे ऊपर सबके ऊपर दोबारा नहीं बोलेंगे पेट्रोल छिड़क दिया। मुझे न्याय चाहिए, मुझे सीबीआई जांच चाहिए, जो भी बढ़िया पे बढ़िया जांच है वो चाहिए मुझे। बस मुझे जांच दे दो।
प्रशासन की इसमें पूरी असफलता है। पुलिस क्या कर रही थी? अभी आज सारी पुलिस यहाँ खड़ी है। उस रात को जब बार बार जितेंद्र ने अभी हमें बताया कि हम बार बार उनको बोल रहे थे कि हमें लग रहा है कि हमला होने वाला है, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी जो प्रशासन को जो इंतजाम करना था तो बिल्कुल सब गायब थे।
The BJP government has formed an SIT to probe the case. So far, 11 people have been booked, out of which only 4 suspects have been arrested. The state government also dismissed allegations of lacking in action to nab the culprits. Haryana police also took action against officials for negligence.
केस को सीबीआई को दिया जाए, वो हमने मान ली है और सरकार से हम आदेश करेगी उसके बारे में। दूसरा उनका मांग थी कि उनकी जो घायल पत्नी है जितेंद्र जी की, उसका इलाज करा जाए, वो भी हमने मान ली है। दोषियों को तुरंत गिरफ्तार किया जाए, ये मांग भी हमने मान ली है। बहुत जल्दी ही बाकी बचे हुए दोषियों को गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाएगा। मैं पीड़ित परिवार को विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि वो सरकार पर भरोसा रखें, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री पर भरोसा रखें।
हमने एक स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन टीम बना दी है तफ्तीश करने के लिए। इसमें सभी रैंक के अधिकारी होंगे। जो पुलिसकर्मी थे यहाँ पर या जिनकी ड्यूटी थी, 5 पुलिसकर्मियों की ड्यूटी थी, तो उनमें से जो 3 यहाँ ड्यूटी पर थे, ये मानते हुए कि कहीं ना कहीं कोई उनकी लैक्सिटी हुई है, उनको सस्पेंड कर दिया। इसके अलावा एक जो PCR यहाँ रहती है, उसमें भी जो मुलाजिम थे, ये मानते हुए कि अगर घटना हुई है तो कहीं ना कहीं कोई मिस्टेक, कोई फॉल्ट, कोई ना कोई जिम्मेदारी बनती है किसी की, तो उनको भी सस्पेंड करके डिपार्टमेंट को शुरू।
Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar was earlier scheduled to meet the victim's family, but he reportedly cancelled the meeting after protests grew. However, the family later agreed to cremate the children to end the blockade. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Breakfast News will take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
Political slugfest intensifies in Bihar. Regional leaders fight a do-or-die battle. Who wins Bihar and who loses relevance? Watch Verdict 2015 on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back, and in some good news coming in, Delhi is all set to host its first car-free day today. The event will see Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his cabinet colleagues encourage people to use public transport. Now, the event is being organized as a part of Delhi government's Ab Bus Kare program. The aim is to boost similar events on the 22nd of every month. Now, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will cycle from Red Fort to India Gate, a stretch that will remain car-free till the noon today. Car-free day will be observed from 7 in the morning to 12 noon today on the stretch connecting Red Fort to India Gate via Delhi Gate and ITO. Now, additional buses of DTC with frequency of 1 or 2 minutes will be deployed on this route for better facilitation of commuters. And in more news from Delhi, after the Delhi Chief Minister charged that the National Capital's police force was the most corrupt, the Delhi police chief has hit back. He cited the same survey that Kejriwal referred to dismiss the charges, claiming that the survey indicates that corruption in Delhi police has gone down considerably.
On Tuesday, Delhi Chief Minister cited a CMS survey that claimed Delhi police is the most corrupt department in the national capital. He used the survey to renew his demands to hand over law and order matters to the Delhi government instead of centre controlling part of the national capital's governance. Delhi Police Commissioner B.S. Bassi had dismissed Kejriwal's claims and offered a reward of 25,000 rupees to anyone who offered information on corrupt officials in his department. However, on Wednesday, Bassi used the same survey to claim how Delhi police has improved as far as reducing corruption is concerned. He also called Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for a debate on the issue and clear the air. Kejriwal had earlier written a number of letters to the Prime Minister asking him to let the Delhi government handle all governance issues and reduce centre's control over the national capital. He took on to Twitter on Tuesday to once again renew his demands for a greater control on governance, asking Prime Minister Narendra Modi to cooperate. Kejriwal has been embroiled in a bitter tussle with the Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung since coming to power earlier this year. The two exchanged war of words over their jurisdiction to decide transfers of key officials. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's take a look at what all events are lined up for the day in our segment The Day Ahead. As part of his Andhra visit, Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the Garuda terminal at Tirupati Airport. The new passenger terminal has been constructed at a cost of 190 crore rupees. PM would also lay the foundation stone for a mobile phones manufacturing hub to come up close to the airport. Thereafter, Modi will proceed to offer worship at the famous hill shrine of Lord Venkateshwar at Tirumala. Modi had visited the temple and offered prayers as the BJP prime ministerial candidate in May last year. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat will be addressing cadres and volunteers at a function in Nagpur on the occasion of Vijay Dashmi. The day assumes significance as Dr. Keshav Baliram Hegrevar founded the RSS on this day at Nagpur in 1925. Former DRDO chairman and incumbent Niti Aayog member Dr. Vijay Kumar Saraswat has been invited as the chief guest. Bhagwat's speech will be broadcast live by Doordarshan. With no end in sight of weeks of Israeli-Palestinian violence, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is all set to hold talks with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel and US Secretary of State John Kerry. Netanyahu is in Germany as part of a high-profile diplomatic push to restore calm. The visit comes even as UN Chief Ban Ki-moon held talks with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas on Wednesday, but after 2 days of discussions in the region, it appeared no end to the weeks of violence. Chinese President Xi Jinping will continue his 4-day state visit to Britain as part of a push to increase trade ties between the two countries. On Wednesday, Xi Jinping addressed a banquet hosted by the Lord Mayor of the City of London. Earlier in the day, Xi Jinping, along with British Prime Minister David Cameron, held a news conference at Downing Street after an afternoon of meetings with him, where a number of trade deals totaling $62 billion were signed. On to a big international story. Well, Pak Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif will meet US President Barack Obama at White House today. Now, they're expected to hold talks on a wide range of topics, including the Kashmir issue. Reports suggest that Pakistan would convey to the US that it won't accept limits on tactical nuclear arms. A day before, Sharif met the US Secretary of State John Kerry and held discussions on the security of Pakistan's nuclear arsenal.
The nuclear issue and Kashmir dispute are expected to take center stage as US President Barack Obama prepares to welcome Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to the White House. Even though a nuclear deal with the US seems not to be in Pak PM's agenda, Pak officials said that Sharif will convey that Islamabad will not accept limits on its use of small tactical nuclear weapons, which they insist would deter a sudden attack by India.
Pakistan categorically states that they have developed these weapons primarily to checkmate India's cold start doctrine. Pakistan knows, the entire world knows that India has never posed and will never pose a threat to Pakistan.
But both India and the US is concerned. Earlier, Sharif held talks with the US Secretary of State John Kerry. Reports suggest that calls for Pak nuclear restraint was also under discussion.
Pakistan statement on the nuclear doctrine which they have adopted to have a strategic attack in a limited way on India so as to overpower the conventional warfare is not something which is surprising to us. It was always known that Pakistan has developed, which is not for deterrence, but it is for an aggression.
Kashmir dispute will also be a major point of contention during the Sharif-Obama meet. Hitting out at India, Sharif said India's response to Pakistan's desire for better bilateral ties has been discouraging. He was referring to the stalled Indo-Pak dialogue few months before.
बदकिस्मती से भारतीय रवैये ने हमारी इस ख्वाहिश की हौसला शिकनी की है। सारी दुनिया जानती है कि दोनों ममालिक के दरमियान कशीदगी की बुनियादी जड़ मसला कश्मीर है।
Nawaz Sharif and Barack Obama will also discuss reconciliation efforts in Afghanistan, especially at a time when the US has once again delayed its troops' withdrawal in the region due to a rising Taliban threat. Sharif will also meet US Vice President Joe Biden along with other cabinet members. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more international stories in World Wrap. US Vice President Joe Biden has announced that he will not run for the Democratic nomination in the 2016 White House race. Democrats have been urging Biden to run for elections as an alternative to frontrunner Hillary Clinton. Now urging to end political bickering, Biden said that any candidate would be making a tragic mistake to reject the Obama legacy and his record. The US strongly condemned both Russia and Syria a day after Syrian President Bashar al-Assad visited Moscow to meet President Putin. Now, Assad's visit came weeks after Russia began airstrikes in Syria against Islamic State and other forces. Assad thanked Moscow for its support in fighting terror in Syria. Migrants torched tents at a transient camp in Slovenia. They were apparently angry at the way in which they have been treated in such camps. A report suggests that they were also angry at the slow process of registering. They also complained of lack of food and basic amenities in the camp. Meanwhile, the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker has called for an emergency meeting later on Sunday as the crisis deteriorates. Afghan forces have launched a fresh assault to push back Taliban from the southern province of Helmand. The attack comes 3 weeks after Taliban briefly captured the northern city of Kunduz in their biggest military success in 14 years. 2 Chinese diplomats have been killed in a shooting at a restaurant in Cebu in the Philippines. One person was also reportedly injured. Both of them were working for the Chinese consulate. Police forces have arrested the suspect. However, the cause for the attack is unknown. An investigation is underway. And on to sports now. Well, India faces a tough task as they take on South Africa in a must-win 4th ODI in Chennai today. The hosts trail this 5-match series 1-2 and are in danger of losing second consecutive ODI series after the series defeat against Bangladesh earlier this year. India will look to go out all guns blazing against South Africa in the must-win 4th ODI in Chennai today. The hosts have faltered in the chase twice in the series, losing both times by close margins. With the threat of a second consecutive ODI series loss looming, the men in blue will hope to turn things around this time at the spin-friendly track at M.A. Chidambaram Stadium.
This is one place where spinners come and enjoy bowling. You know, I've remembered a lot of the good games I've played here. India have won a lot of games here. Hopefully, Chennai will give us that luck which is required, and hopefully we'll turn things around from here.
India could make one change in the squad, with left-arm seamer S. Arvind likely to find himself in the playing 11 in place of Umesh Yadav. South Africa faced few injury concerns, with their in-form batsman JP Duminy ruled out of the series. Pacer Morne Morkel is also doubtful for the match with a sore leg. However, the Proteas will look to seal the series in Chennai before going to Mumbai for the final match.
It would be nice to go to Mumbai sealing the series. I think we've spoken about it long and hard in team chats. where we want to go overseas and we want to dominate opposition. And I think we stand a big chance now to be able to do that. So, yeah, hopefully if we play good cricket, we can win it.
South Africa is yet to win a bilateral series against India on Indian soil. But going by the recent form, they may rewrite the record books. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And some more sporting action now in Sports Beat. Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Shahryar Khan said that the PCB will review security situation regarding its team's participation in the World Cup T20 next year. Shahryar, who returned home from India after failing to meet the top brass of the BCCI, said that the ICC had raised concerns about safety for players and officials in the World T20. India is set to host the World T20 next year in March-April. He also said that the decision on the December series will be taken on a reply from the BCCI. Indian shuttler H.S. Pranoy stunned reigning Olympic champion Ling Dan of China to advance to the second round of the French Open Super Series. Saina Nehwal and P. Kashyap also crossed the opening hurdles. Unseeded Pranoy rallied from a set down to beat a third-seeded rival 14-21, 21-11, 21-17. Top seed Saina and 8th seed Kashyap advanced with straight set victories. Kevin De Bruyne's injury time winner gave Manchester City a dramatic Champions League victory over Sevilla. The Spanish side took the lead in the 30th minute, but City equalized quickly to level the matters at the half-time. City is now a point behind leaders Juventus in Group D. In Group B, Manchester United drew with CSKA Moscow 1-1. Sekou Doumbia gave CSKA the lead, but United's this season signing Martial headed in second half to rescue a point for the Red Devils. The draw puts United second in the group behind German side Wolfsburg. And the country is celebrating Vijay Dashmi today. All preparations are in place for the burning of Ravan and his brothers. As we take your leave with these visuals, wishing you a very happy Dussehra. Thanks for watching.